On my screen, it says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Fantastic. And we are off. Hello, Natalie. I'm Gina Adams, and I'm thrilled to be here today with Natalie Fung from the Rollets. She is an aspiring um, corporate social responsibility advocate for people with disabilities, as well as has an undergraduate in promotion PR and marketing. And we are just so thrilled to have you today. I'm Gina Adams, the founder of Wareologie. As many of you know, I was inspired to look at apparel solutions for people that have physical challenges. I witnessed the impact of Parkinson's on my dad, and that's what inspired me to invent buttons to buttons. So these are just a really simple solution for people to retrofit your own button-up shirt. And we have started interviewing these amazing professionals over the past few months to learn about really vital technology that helps people thrive in life. So Natalie, thank you so much for coming today. It's great to meet you.
Thank you for having me, Gina. I'm happy to be here.
So for people who may not be as familiar with your story, do you mind just sharing with us a little bit? First of all, where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm from Pasadena, California, and I was in a car accident back in 2013 when I was a senior in college. I was attending the University of Southern California. Unfortunately, I went to Las Vegas and a drunk driver hit the cab that I was in, and I ended up breaking my neck at the C5 vertebrae, and now I'm a quadriplegic. So I have very minimal, if any, hand function. So these buttons are great.
Oh, well, I am really sorry to hear about your tragedy because as I've been conducting these interviews, I have two children and I've become really just so concerned about safety of everybody because you sadly are not alone in the awful accidents that have taken so many people's lives and or impaired them, such as you've experienced. But what I was really impressed was within such a small amount of time, you actually returned back to school within 3 months of your activity or your accident to finish your degree. Like how was that? How did you persevere like that?
So I just really wanted to keep going. I didn't really want to take a pause because I seemed it like I already took some time off from that, that last semester that I was supposed to have. I got into the accident my last semester at USC, and I was supposed to graduate a semester early. So I wanted to kind of try to stay on track. So I decided to go back and just take one class, and they let me do it virtually, luckily, because I know a lot of colleges, especially back in 2013, they weren't allowing people to attend school virtually. So USC let me come back virtually. And so I did one class per semester and I ended up graduating just a year late.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. And I think that I know I went back and recently got my MBA. And so I hear that you're interested in going back to school as well.
Yes,
I
definitely.
highly recommend
Always for
it.
higher education.
Right. And, I waited perhaps a little too long, some people will say, later in life. So I had kids, and it was certainly challenging because I had to really clean out the cobwebs in my brain. It had been over 30 years since I'd been in school.
Yeah.
So
I already
I
feel like I don't know like how I'm gonna go back into the studying mode and do all of that again.
go
I'm
for
ready.
it now. Don't wait like me. Just go for it. It's fun. It's great. I met so many people, and it's really what inspired me to persevere and actually have the great connections of networking and be able to launch a company, which is pretty exciting and challenging in its own right. So
Yeah.
I love that. Can you share a little bit about what you've been involved with? It seems pretty exciting how you met the Rolettes and got involved with that aspect of your life.
Yeah, so actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but um, I believe it's over 70% of spinal cord people with spinal cord injuries are male. So I had a hard time meeting other females in wheelchairs that I could relate to. And finally, I met like some of the members of the Rolettes. Back then, it wasn't called the Rolettes yet, but they started doing this little dance camp where they would just invite some girls in the Los Angeles area and we would get together and like dance and just have fun. And that started as just like a small group. My first year, it was 12 girls. And now it's called the Rolettes Experience, and it's grown to over to 200 girls from 10 different countries. So
Oh
it's
my,
amazing. And so I met those girls and I officially joined the team in 2019.
ah, congratulations. There's nothing like, I mean, music in general. Is just so good for the soul. And when you can dance, there's like this saying, like dance like nobody's watching you, right? And you just can, but when you actually have friends that you can do it with, it's what a great organization and community.
Yeah.
Now, so if people are from all over the world, are you, I know there's an event coming up. So this is the Rolettes experience. Is
Yes.
that how people can find you, is to go to like rollettesexperience.com?
Yes, so we have rollettesexperience.com, which is the website for the event. And for the Rolettes in general, our website is rollettesdance.com. But
Okay.
this year's the first year it's going to be all virtual because of coronavirus. And so we were a little disappointed at first because we were so used to, being in the same room with all of these girls and meeting face to face, being at eye level, not having to like crane our necks to look up like usual.
Right.
So we were very excited about that, but yeah, unfortunately, COVID happened. So it's all virtual, but I think it's still going to be a really good production. We're still going to be hosting dance classes. We're going to be hosting some seminars and a couple panels with guest speakers.
Yeah, I mean, community. And so for, people that haven't had the experience of isolation until this year, we've all become a little bit more, I think, patient. And if Zoom is the way that we can see our friends and family, then that's the way you got to roll with it, right? And so
Yeah.
it's actually, even though it's disappointing, because I miss the face and face. I'm a hugger. Like, I'm from Michigan.
Yeah.
I like to hug people, and so that's been, kind of challenging, of course. But it seems like it's going to open up the experience to some people that otherwise wouldn't actually have been able to participate. So,
Yeah.
is there a cap? Like, how many people can attend? Do you know?
I don't believe there is a cap this year since it's all virtual.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, definitely more people can attend who wouldn't have been able to before. There were some girls who canceled when it was still going to be live and they, were worried about traveling and just, being safe. So now they're excited that it's virtual because they can just join from home.
That's great. That's great. Now, what is your role within this? Are you going to lead any of the panels, or what is your involvement with the Rolettes?
So I run the Roulette's Twitter account. So I'm going to be on Twitter the entire time. And also, I'm not going to be doing it during the Roulette's experience, but I have been hosting or leading a guided meditation during a lot of Roulette's events. And meditation is just something that I got into maybe within the past 2 years. And I really enjoy it. And I just wanted to share it with the rest of the girls because I feel like it's a really good way to kind of calm yourself down, and especially with having a disability, a lot of people also have mental illness with that. And I myself have depression and anxiety, and it's helped me a lot. So just hoping that it can help some other people too.
Well, and then that's, oh my gosh, perfect segue into talking about vital tools that we like
Yeah.
are really life changers. And so let's talk about meditation, because that has been a lifesaver for me. I was introduced to Deepak Chakra and Oprah a couple of years ago, and I listened to
Yes.
their guided meditations, and I feel like, it's something that is so rejuvenating for, yeah, just I don't know, I'm a morning meditator. Do you have a particular time that you prefer to meditate?
I do like mornings as well, but sometimes I do them in the afternoon. Like if I have time, like right now, the days are slow. So if I'm not doing anything, I'd be like, oh, I guess I'll just throw in a meditation right now.
That's great. And so is there any, because it does take, there's like a learning process, right? I took
Mhm.
classes and I'm like, I don't think I get it. And it took me a while to really be able to calm my mind. And so, are there any like tricks or tips that you can recommend, or could we join you on Twitter? Is there any way?
Yeah, so let's see. I'm kind of a nerd, so I started reading books about meditation and about
Okay.
mindfulness, and that helped me kind of understand it more. Yeah, so that's how I got into it. I started reading books by the Dalai Lama and also by this Buddhist monk who I really enjoy named Thich Nhat Hanh. And so writes some really great books about mindfulness and, just yeah, being in the present moment and meditation and Buddhism.
Fantastic. Yeah, I read it was A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and that was kind of my like eye opener. So I mean it's again something that you can do wherever you are, right? It doesn't cost. I mean, I've been talking to people that use like robotic rewalks that are $50,000 and things that people use to exercise. And here's a great way that you can exercise your brain,
Yeah.
and really find that calmness that helps us like with anxiety. I think everybody right now with just the new faces of uh, coping with, I mean, patience, I feel like is something that we have had no choice but to embrace patience during COVID-19, and just, the being, I guess it would, inconvenienced is, I think, what happens for a lot of people. But beyond that, obviously, there's so much death and sadly, job loss and the financial implications of what's happening in our society right now, and that unknown. It's very complicated for people to
Yeah.
accept the unknown. And I think, at least from what I've read, by living in the moment in the day to day and leading our life as if this is perhaps our last, then there's that just appreciation for small things. And I know that, yeah, so it's hard, but yet
Yeah, it's
like it.
definitely a scary time right now. And like you think about what might happen, what could have happened. So it kind of just reminds you to be grateful for what you have and to be in the present because it's not all bad all the time. Like right now, if I'm thinking about the present, I'm talking to you, I'm having a good time right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm so glad that I kind of decided to reach out to these, different professionals like you, because I've had a really nice summer, even though it's been from my home, but just meeting awesome people. So what
Yeah.
else do you kind of rely on? Like what's in your toolkit? It's nice that we can see your bedroom. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
It looks like you have a walker back there. Is that your exercise machine?
So that's actually called a Hoyer lift.
Oh,
And
that is your Hoyer. Okay.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you don't know what that is, that it just helps with transfers. So my mom's a little lady, so she can't transfer me on her own. So if she's here without help, then we use the Hoyer lift. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Essential.
we actually just moved in, so it's kind of bare right now. I don't have a lot of stuff on the walls, but things are coming together.
Oh, congratulations. That's always fun.
Yeah, and stressful.
Yeah. Yep. I know. Oh, that's fun. So do you have I know that the Rollets experience is coming up October 12th. I want to make sure that we
It's 10th through 11th actually.
it's the 10th through the 11th. Okay.
Yes, so it's a
We will
weekend.
post that after this to make sure that people, along with the contact, um, so that people can find that. But so what else have you been doing to keep busy?
So I have been reading, like I said, I do enjoy reading. So I've been doing that, and luckily the Los Angeles Public Library has like free ebooks right now that you can check out. So that's been great since I usually go to like my public library, but that's closed. So the ebooks are great. What else am I doing? I usually go to a gym for people with disabilities, but unfortunately that closed down. So I've been attempting to do some at-home workouts that I need to do more. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's hard to motivate. I do some yoga, and so I was doing like the the virtual, or I would sign up for a class
Mhm.
versus driving. And so at least it was live,
I
but it's still
Yeah,
not.
I like having the virtual classes actually. I've done a couple of those and, just seeing other people doing the same thing as you and having like someone motivating you, it helps a lot.
Yeah. And so is there a particular exercise that you like? What is your kind of go-to exercise?
I just arm stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't really do a lot of leg stuff being in a wheelchair, but yeah, like just some I like the fast-paced, like fun cardio stuff where you can kind of like dance to.
Right. Dancing is it's a good theme here because like that
Yeah,
just gets your body. Well, first of all, it's usually accompanied by music, which we've
exactly.
established is always a good, well, at least if it's uplifting music, but that's great. Now you mentioned with your legs though, do you use any like electro neuro stimulators, like the muscle stimulators? Have you tried any
I
of those?
don't. I need to though. I've heard those are great. Like, I know people that have the FES bikes at home where they can hook up the leads to their legs and like the bike will kind of move your legs for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, other people have like a standing frame. Unfortunately, I don't have those. Hopefully one
Um,
day.
Yeah, you should follow Karen Roy on Instagram. She is from Louisiana, but she was Miss Wheelchair America in 2019, and she's
Oh,
been an advocate for insurance. I guess the word would be that she's basically looking at changing legislation so that insurance providers will cover the standing wheelchairs because we know as humans we were not intended to be in a sitting position all the time,
mhm.
and just that vertical opportunity to stand straight up is good for you. There's so
Yeah,
many
it's really
health
healthy.
benefits, right? So
Yeah, good for
I
your
hope.
legs, good for your bones, good for your blood circulation. It's really good. And yeah, like you're right, standing wheelchairs aren't covered by insurance right now. I'm sorry, my dog is scratching at the door because she wants to
That's
go.
no problem. We have cats and all sorts of animals running around. Well, the good news is that legislation was passed in Wisconsin. And
Oh,
so
nice.
knowing, what you do in terms of your work with the social, I keep looking at your corporate social responsibility, and just like you need to put that kind of on your checklist because since it was passed in one state, I'm hoping that it'll open the doors to other states, that they'll
Mhm.
actually at least reconsider and recognize the you know so many inherent value to being able to stand and
Yeah.
exercise. So that's great. What would you say or recommend or give advice to somebody who, as a young person such as yourself experiencing this, like, is there any advice that you would give somebody who's recently injured?
I would definitely say don't be afraid to embrace the wheelchair community because when I was first injured, I was nervous. But I think that's because you know, we grow up in a society that is inherently ableist, and I didn't see any wheelchair users on television growing up. I didn't know any wheelchair users personally. I didn't know anybody with a disability because I just wasn't exposed to it. And so I was afraid to meet other people in wheelchairs because I thought, no, I'm not part of this community. I'm separate. I'm a normal person, quote unquote normal. But like, what is normal?
Right.
Yeah. And so once I embraced the disability community, started going to support groups, started making friends, started reaching out to people, it actually made me a lot happier because even though I did have my friends from before, like from college and from high school, and they would empathize with me, they didn't really know what it was like to have a disability. And just having that connection with someone else who is going through the exact same thing as you is so helpful.
That's great. It's so true that um, you know it's just it's not the same until you have that same exact experience. You, like you said, you can empathize, but you really just, there's something about even like when I had my first child, I joined a parent group, and because it was overwhelming, and
Mhm.
just having that community to share and understand what to do with colicky babies and food things that, it's just, you're not necessarily, you can't ask other people if they don't,
Yeah.
if they don't
I
know.
was a colicky baby. Sorry to my parents.
Oh no.
They told me I was.
I didn't even realize that definition until I had my second child. And then I was like, wow, my first really gave me a run for the money because my second son was so just casual. He was so calm. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know how easy kids could be. So,
I didn't know how difficult my first one was.
right, right. It could
Yeah.
be, of course, my own anxiety or just nervousness about being a new
Oh,
mom too.
definitely.
But great. Well, do you have, you mentioned about going back to school and you're kind of on the ropes with that. Are there any other organizations that you belong to that you'd want to share with people that, might be watching? And again, it's building that community. It's so nice that you had the support from your family and friends, first of
Yeah.
all, but you had the wherewithal to not isolate and to reach out. Are there any groups until, obviously you found the Roulettes, and so that's
Yeah.
amazing because they're cohorts, right? They're people, they're your age, and you girls have so much in common in
Yeah,
terms of
it's basically like a sisterhood. Like it's really like luckily we are all friends and I can like reach out to them whenever and they all know what I'm going through. And I there are two quadriplegics on the team, me and another girl, Stephanie. And Stephanie is a C5 quadriplegic as well, but she's a lot stronger than me. She got a lot more return back in her arms. And so I am like the quote unquote weakest on the team, like physically, but they help me out so much. They always make me feel so included. If I ever need anything, they don't hesitate to help me out. So it's so great having them around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I want to be really mindful of your time, and it's been a half hour. It goes so fast.
I
But I was
know.
wondering if there's anything that we could do to support, you and the Rolettes, or what you're doing in terms of, your activism
Yeah.
for corporate social responsibility. Is there anything that we could help promote for you?
So personally, um, not a lot, I think, but for the Rolettes, we have the Rolettes experience coming up. And then also we have Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month, which is in September.
That's
We're
right.
we're going to be doing something special for that in September, which I'm
Okay.
excited about. And then oh, speaking about other organizations, sorry, I didn't even answer your question last time, but some other organizations that I think are great. One is the Triumph Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization for people with spinal cord injuries or who deal with paralysis. And I got introduced to them near the beginning of my injury and have done a lot of stuff with them, which is great. And another one that I'd like to give a shout out to is called Swim with Mike, which is a scholarship program at USC. But it's not just for USC students, it's for any student athlete that became disabled. So that's so great. So they offer scholarships to disabled athletes like all around the country.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Those are two great. I do know the Triumph organization there, or Triumph Foundation. Um, but I was not aware of Swim with Mike, which I
Yeah.
do think that access to different types of activities so that people can still experience the outdoors and get involved, but some of that equipment can be pretty expensive, right? So is that
Yeah. So actually, sorry, it's actually an academic scholarship,
okay?
but which is also great, for people with disabilities who want to go to school but can't necessarily afford it. So yeah, it's really great that they're doing that.
That's great. Yeah, the name was a misnomer for me then because it said Swim with Mike. So
Oh yeah. So the person that started the organization is named Mike, and he was a swimmer at USC, and he ended up breaking his back while as a student there.
oh,
Yeah, and then he started this organization, this scholarship program.
awesome. Okay, so that's a scholarship. It's academic scholarship program. There are, and we can post about this afterwards. There are a couple other organizations like I Got Legs. I interviewed Adam Gorlitsky a couple weeks ago, and he was in a car accident, but his foundation is specifically for people to get access to outdoors. So that's
Oh,
if
that's
you're looking for
awesome.
more athleticism or exercise bikes or whatever, they can help fund that. But if you're looking for
Ooh.
academic scholarships, then we'll look for Swim with Mike. And I'll find that website and post it after this interview. So Natalie, thank you so much. I could sit here and talk to you for hours. It's so
I
fun
know.
to
It went by
meet
so
you.
fast, actually.
I know. And I really, I'm looking forward to the Roulettes experience this September. I think it's great that you coincide that with Spinal Cord Awareness Month. There's 17,000 new injuries every year. And I think it's really underrepresented in terms of just people understanding it. And so the fact that you girls are able to, first of all, provide a community, but you're also able to bring awareness that despite having your accident, you're thriving and loving life and leading it to the fullest, which is just it is inspirational to people who may not be in that space yet, right? If they're just recovering and they're still kind of emotionally
Fragile.
developing, like
Yeah.
how to move forward, how to persevere. So thank you for the amazing work that you've been doing, and continue to support all of our disabled community, whether it's through activism. And like I said, I think that if we can get some legislation passed to expand insurance to actually support these stand-up wheelchairs, as well as I want to connect you with the electroneurostimulator, because I know James Murtha, our chief innovation officer, he uses it's from Axio Bionics, and it's a stimulator, and he has biceps. Like, it's really impressive. He has
That's
a high
awesome.
injury, but he waited probably 2 years after his accident to start using this electrostimulation. And now, he's toned, he has biceps. And so I want to pass that on to you to check it out, because I think that there's some really
Yeah.
great technology out there. So
There's a lot of
uh,
great technology now.
it's amazing. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you'd like to share with us before we go?
Um, just that reminder, Roulette's experience is October 10th through 11th. Oh, and actually this time it's open to people of all disabilities, so not just wheelchair users. So that's a new thing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome to know. Okay, that's important, because we all love to dance. So
Yes.
hopefully we'll get something. We'll push that out to our followers and let people know that it's open, and encourage people to come out and join in the celebration, because it really does seem, I've just met you for the first time, and so I'm looking forward to kind of checking it out and following the progress online, and seeing all of you girls out there just
Yeah.
having
It's
a
so cool.
blast. It's awesome. And then last but not least, of course, I just want to close with reminding everybody that it's been our pleasure to meet with Natalie Fung from the Rollette. She's a team member. She's coordinates all of their Twitter, which is a big job. I mean, that's
Mhm.
constant, our social media these days. So that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you for hosting that and being involved. I'm Gina Adams with Wareologie, and we have some new developments coming this fall. I'm really excited. We launched with our first buttons to buttons magnetic adapters to help make it easy for people with any type of dexterity to get dressed and undressed. You got them. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you for wearing those today and sharing
Yes, they were
them.
great. So easy.
Yeah, we are looking at offering different color options and improving the pull force a little bit, so that, because we want to make it easy to dress, but the undressing part, we realize that people that might be using a manual wheelchair have a little bit more movement, and so we want to make sure that our shirts are staying closed where they need and when they need to be.
No
Um,
wardrobe malfunctions.
Yes, but we do encourage people to wear a loose shirt, and for what it's worth, it's certainly helping bring back some levels of independence. And then this fall we're rolling out a magnetic front closing bra that I'm really excited to partner with, as well as a
Whoa.
pant adapter, because we all want to wear our cute jeans and have all those cute things. So those
Yeah,
will
that's
be coming later this September. So
excited. I'm gonna look
yeah,
forward
me
to it.
too. So thank you so much, Natalie. I can't wait to follow you more and just encourage you with all of the wonderful things that you are just providing and bringing to the community. And so good luck with all of um, your for lack of better words, ambition. It's awesome.
So much, Gina. I'm
Okay.
excited to follow buttons to buttons too, to see how you adapt more buttons and have new colors and all these new things.
Yeah, we're hoping. We're speaking of persevering, it's been a tough time for small businesses, but fortunately we
Yeah.
have a lot of great people such as yourself that are willing to, give us a shout out and understand what it is that we're truly doing, which is great to partner with people, even through the development process. Into actually commercialization. So thank you, Natalie. It's awesome to meet you. Really appreciate it. And I will follow up, obviously tagging you on our social, and then we can follow up as we get closer to October, because I'm really curious and I'd love to work with you guys. And if you need any support, just to make sure people are aware of this awesome, the Roulettes experience. So thanks, Natalie. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, take care. Thanks.
Bye.